Welcome to this second episode of Scrum from a non-certified Scrum Master. So in the previous episodes we saw we covered the principles behind Scrum. You can find the link up here or down in the description. Today instead I'm going to talk about the different roles that we have in Scrum and also about the Daily Scrum. Hi, I'm Anto and this is Out of DevOps. Stick around and don't forget to subscribe. So in Scrum we have many actors, or also we call them stakeholders, and some of them contribute actively to the sprint, some others don't. So during this and the next episodes I will refer to stakeholders several times, so let me quickly explain what I mean and let me define them. So the stakeholders are essentially all the people that have an interest in what the Scrum team does. So they can be your customers, and a team can have internal and external customers. They can be the product owner, but as I mentioned, the non-actively contributing ones are like the program manager or other functions of the business. And in the end, in the list of stakeholders, we have the developers themselves. So the ones that we care about today are the ones that actively contribute to the sprints, and they are essentially three. So it's the development team, the product owner, and the Scrum Master. So let's see them one by one. So let's start with the development team. So people in the development team are the ones that are building the product. So note that I said they're building the product and not writing the code. Because in Scrum we want to have self-managing cross-functional teams, and this means on the cross-functional bit we want to have people with all the skills necessary to move forward the tasks and complete the tasks that are picked from the backlog. So that means we may have people like QA specialist or UI, UX, but also business analysts. They are all part of the development team if they take and work on a ticket. So the other bit that is important is the self-managing. So as I said, self-managing cross-functional, the goal in Scrum is to have teams that can work in autonomy to complete tasks and are able to self-organize to be more resilient in case of unexpected changes. So the other thing that the development team generally focuses on is building the thing right instead of building the right thing. That's more responsibility of the product owner. So the development team focuses on maximizing the quality of what they build. So that's why building the thing right. Instead, now let's look at the product owner. So the product owner focuses instead on building the right thing. So his role is to maximize the value of the product itself. So, and he's the final decision maker in the prioritization of the backlog. And in the end, in the list of active contributors of the Scrum team, we have the Scrum Master. So one definition I like of Scrum Master is be a servant leader. This means that he's there to lead the team, but also to help the team. So one of his main objectives is to enable the team to self-organize and meet the sprint goal. So what he does, he removes impediments and facilitates interaction with external stakeholders. Sometimes also internal interactions are helped by the Scrum Master. So now that we presented the three main actors of the Scrum team, we can go ahead and describe what is the Daily Scrum. So the Daily Scrum is the most frequent event in Scrum because it happens every day. So historically the Daily Scrum was defined as an event where each member of the development team had to answer the three main questions, which are what did you do yesterday, what will you do today, and if there are any impediments in what you have to complete today. And in reality the format is not that important. What is important is identifying risks for the success of the sprint. So the goal of the Daily Scrum is to have this little, do you remember the infographic from the last video? Is to have this little feedback loop where every single day, every single developer contributes and updates the team with their progress, and consequently with the progress of towards the sprint goal. So it's essential for understanding where we are going and if we are going to meet or miss the sprint goal. So the daily scrum is a fundamental meeting and must be done right, because do you remember when I mentioned the bit that teams are self-managing and self-organizing? Well, 90% of that activity happens during this meeting. So it's important that during the daily scrum, the development team feels empowered to speak up and contribute as much as possible towards the sprint goal. So there are two things for me that are important when we talk about daily scrum. The number one is to make sure that the daily scrum doesn't get rescheduled or moved around, simply because developers tend to organize their work around the daily scrum, and if you keep moving it, it becomes very ineffective because developers may not be ready or may still have things to complete, and so the feedback that they're gonna provide may not be complete, and then it's going to be a waste. And the second thing that is extremely important, probably even more important than the first one, don't allow people that can have an emotional impact on the development team to attend the daily scrum. Remember, this is not a status update, so you don't need to have management or important people in this meeting. This is a meeting for, or better, an event for the Scrum team. So it's very important that people feel at ease and in a safe environment, and there are no other things that can threaten or compromise the quality of the feedback that the engineers can provide. So in the next episode, we're going to talk about the sprint planning. What is the sprint planning and what are the ways to run an effective sprint planning. Hope you like this video, and see you soon. Bye bye.